Yo, if you want to get paid, you need to start doing this right now. Like, not now, but right now. Not later, but right now. Let's talk about it.
That's what's up, guys. This is 𝗏𝗏𝗥𝗘𝗦, and you have reached the 𝗏𝗏𝗥𝗘𝗏 Ecom channel. If you want to learn how to make money online or offline, then you need to be right here. I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller. I'm also an honorably discharged Air Force veteran. Graduated from Penn State and started a career as a software engineer and leveraged that to build my businesses. If you guys have any questions on how to make money, you're going to find all your answers right here, so stay tuned.
Yo guys, good to see you again. What's going on, Roughnecks? Welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about how you guys are going to be making some moolah, okay? If you want to get paid, you want to start making some bank, you want to start making some real money, then you need to do what I'm going to tell you right now, okay? And there's going to be no fluff, no BS, none of that. Oh, you need 12 steps and blah, 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 blah. No. How do you get paid? It's called providing value, people. Providing value, okay? It doesn't matter if you have a job or you own a business or you're a content creator or whatever the hell that you're doing. Does not necessarily matter. You can do whatever the hell you want as long as you provide value, okay? So in case of point, if you're an employee, now I know a lot of people, you know, if you have a job, you have a career, you're like, yo, I want to get paid, man. I'm trying to make more money. You might go to your boss or your boss's boss, whoever, and be like, I want a raise. Okay, you got to think about, are you doing anything extra to get that raise? In the case of some of my employees, you know, they'll come to me and be like, I want to make more money. Cool. I'll review security footage. I'll check to see their performance, how much money the business has made, all that stuff. And in case of them doing exceptional and providing more value, making the business more money, I'm gonna give them more money, whether it be a bonus or raise their hourly or whatever. If they haven't, we gotta have a talk about why. And it's like, yo, you asking me for X amount of thousands of dollars more, but you haven't done anything other than essentially exist. Okay, and a lot of people don't wanna hear that. A lot of people don't wanna hear, oh, you know, I'm not getting paid for how hard I work. I actually had this conversation with a friend's, you know, well, his ex-girlfriend now. Okay. Ooh, yo, Migos, baby. But yeah, so at any rate, I was still a software engineer at this point. I was still in the industry. And we were talking about how I get paid like 10 times as much as she does, which it was like exaggeration. It was more like 6 or 7 times, but that's besides the damn point. Whatever. You know, she's like, hey, I work really, really hard, which is true, which is fucking true. Because, I mean, it had her out there sweeping and emptying trash and making sandwiches and all this other stuff. But when we looked at it, I'm like, listen up, girl. You're not paid less than me because of like a work disparity or because you're female or any of that. You're paid less than me because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that you probably shouldn't cross the street with the red light. Yeah, it's red. Yeah, we're gonna die. But anyway, you're not making as much money as me because you're making sandwiches and we're out here doing war games and putting satellites in space and all that other shit, okay? It takes a very specific person to be able to do that, a very specific skill set, okay? Anyone can go make sandwiches at Wawa. If you got 2 hands, you can make some sandwiches. You know, my son makes his sister sandwiches all the damn time. He's pretty good at it. He ain't got no job, he ain't getting paid, but you know, that's just the way it works. So if you got 2 hands and you know how to make some sandwiches, you can go get a job at Wawa and make, you know, 12 bucks an hour. Whereas when I was a software engineer and we're putting satellites in space, you know, for the government, you had to have a specific skill set. You had to know different programming languages, you know, different methodologies, and you had to have trained for it. You know, you had to have some type of, you know, formal education because that's what the company required. That's just what it is. So in turn, not everybody gonna put satellites in space. So therefore, if you can, they're gonna pay you more money. And also if you can get a security clearance and all this other stuff, but that's besides the point. But when we talked about it, she got mad. She's like, oh, that's not fair. You know, I should be able to make all this money because I work harder. Yes, physically, you work way harder than I do, but you don't make near as much money as me because you're not doing anything that's special. You're not adding more value. Okay, now if she had went above and beyond and added more value to that company, chances are she would have got promoted. Maybe she would have become an assistant store manager or an assistant GM or maybe even a general manager. But she wasn't adding more value. She was just doing her job, doing the bare minimum, which therefore meant she wasn't necessarily going to be making more money. Okay, and I know people don't want to hear that shit. I know people don't want to hear it because they want to hear they can make all the money. But let's talk about how I went from that mentality to the mentality I have now and how I was able to make more money by adding more value. So hopefully that'll help you get paid. So let's go ahead, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna make it a little bit easy for you, give you some actionable steps, all right? Let's go. Yeah, so there's 3 more. Yo, 3 more people. Whoever wins that grudge match, they get $500. Yo, I don't give a f.
You said every race a winner gets $500.
No, so the first 5 people that win their races, I'm giving $500 to, because I didn't race due, because you know he had family, family stuff to do or whatever. He had family stuff to do, so therefore everyone was supposed to come out and watch me and him race. Now I'm like, well, I'm not winning my money, so I might as well give somebody some money. All right, so when I was a software engineer, well, let's go back to the days of me being an intern and trying to provide more value, right? So I was a young whippersnapper making 20 bucks an hour. And I thought I was making all types of bank. But then I started seeing that the people who were with the company, who were not interns, who were actually employees, they were making double what I was making. I'm like, wait a second, this doesn't even seem fair. Like, I'm making all these changes, I'm doing a bunch of this work, but they're making more than me. And at the time, I was still stuck on the whole, like, I work harder than they do, so therefore I should be making more money than them. That is simply not true. Because these guys that were doing, the heavy lifting, that were solving a lot of the complex problems, they were providing a specific skill set. They were adding more value to the company than I was being an intern handling lower end stuff. Even though I was doing physically more work, I was writing more code, it wasn't near as valuable, so I wasn't getting paid as much. Now, granted, as I got more skills, I got a job offer, and they were paying me worth my weight at that point, at least what I thought I was worth. When that happened, I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. That's when I started understanding, okay, if I'm not providing this level of value, then I shouldn't be asking for this type of money. Because I did go to my boss, during that time frame. I'm like, I'm writing all this code, and it's like really good, and I'm getting all these things knocked out. I'm knocking all these stories out, and like, crazy. Like, why am I not getting paid more money? And they're like, look, these are low-level stories. They're not necessarily impacting the overall project in a detrimental way. Okay, so once we went through that, I was like, okay, so how do I make more money? And he essentially said the same thing: provide more value, handle tougher stories, or come up with different things on your own that can benefit the company, benefit the project that we're working on, and all that. And so that's what I did. And then of course I got my job offer, and that kind of helped further my career along, because I was making more money at that point. And then it gave me an opportunity to feel like I accomplished something, which I did. I got job offers and all that. And then I started working on bigger projects and so on and so forth. But what he told me never left my mind. Provide more value, add more value, make it happen for myself. And so I took that to heart. My mentor said the same thing. Carmelo, you guys may know if you've been watching my videos for a while, he was like, look, you need to start providing value, you need to add more value, do whatever you can so people take notice. And so that's what I did. And then when it comes to my businesses, if you guys, have seen some of my ads or whatever, it's never, about, oh, you're gonna make 100K in 30 days, or it's never about any of that stuff. The content that I produce, the ads that I shoot, is always about providing value, because guess what? If you provide value, in turn, you're gonna either A, make more money, or you're gonna have more opportunities down the line to make more money, because there's people that will see that and they'll want to spend more time with you. Okay, or maybe spend time building a business with you or whatever, or investing in a business that you have or an idea or whatever. Okay, it doesn't always pay off immediately when it comes to money, and that's what you guys aren't understanding. A lot of people are just looking at the short term, and they're like, I want to get paid right now. Okay, which is good. Getting paid right now is good. But if you add the value, you'll make more money on the back end than you will on the front end. Or it may take a little bit for you to make that money, but you'll recoup something that could be more valuable. All right, and let me try to explain that in this little segment right here. Let's go. I got the white GTR. You got $25,000? How much? $25,000. I can get it. Get it. I have it right here, right now. Get it, and I'll run you. You want to race for less? No, I don't race for less. I don't bring my cars out and race for less. If you want to race me for less, you'll race my R8, and that's not going to be a fair race. Unless you run 7s, it's not worth it. I don't come out to race people. I come to hang out with people. If I'm going to race people, it better be worth my time. I make weight. You go get $25,000, we will run right here, right now. We can put it in. Do you want it on low boost, high boost? I'm telling you right now, if you... And like, if I'm gonna come out and race somebody, it has to be worth my while. Well, I'm gonna race for $2,500. I make this shit in my sleep. All right, people, so let's talk about the long term versus short term. So for me, I don't make near as much money on my automation services as my friends do, all right? So, you know, Tommy, Mitch, Muhammad, all of them, they make way more bank than I do when it comes to their automation services because I don't necessarily care about the front end. I care about the longevity of the client, okay? Is it nice to get paid that much up front? I'm pretty sure it is, but for me, it's all about the longevity and making sure I do right by these people, which is why I don't take a profit split for X amount of time, which is why I'm generally cheaper than a lot of other people. And on top of that, it's about building that relationship and why I focus so much on being in contact with my clients on a regular basis. Like, they can reach out to me at any time, which I think really helps the whole process because automation isn't, you know, 100% hands off. Like, they actually got to put in a little bit of effort on the client part. But for me, that longevity and being able to build that long-term relationship means I'll make more money overall because guess what? Yeah, I'm not making that much money up front relative to the competition, but on the back end, you know, my clients bring me even more people because they trust me and they trust that I'm doing right by them. They see the results and their friends see the result and in turn are like, oh snap, I want to get on with this guy. Whereas if they may have been considering someone else, you know, outside of my friend circle, they're like, you know what? This person's with Rico and he's doing right by them. He's doing this and this and this and this. That's who I'm going to go rock with. That's who I'm going to, you know, give my money to. So even though I'm not making that money up front, I add so much value to my clients that they go and tell everybody else. So I don't have to do all the heavy lifting up front to get paid. And sometimes that's what you have to realize. You might have to sacrifice on the front end to have longevity on the back end. Now, it's different with every industry and so on and so forth. Now, when it comes to something like, you know, like with my OnlyFans automation, you know, we focus on that front end money because the girls need to get paid. Okay, so we're constantly, you know, I'm constantly spending money on the front end to help make these girls money on the front end. Now, that comes back to me, you know, obviously, you know, on the front end and the back end because they bring me more girls in turn, which means I can make more money because more girls and get, you know, a percentage from them and all that. But the front end now, these girls are getting bigger, which means they make more money on the front end and then I can take that, you know, take a bigger percentage. Well, not take a bigger percentage, but now I get a percentage of a bigger pie as opposed to, you know, a smaller pie. Those types of things, like, as long as I'm adding more value, which, you know, by way of, you know, paying for the photo shoots, paying for the flights, getting them the Airbnbs, all this stuff, you know, providing fun times when we go out, you know, paying for the parties and all that stuff, yes, I'm paying out of pocket. But I'm providing more value than they would get if they were going with some, you know, douchebag that was just trying to exploit them, you know what I'm saying? And then, in turn, because they're happier, they're producing better quality content. You know, I have a good content team that's, you know, making this happen for them. So you know, yes, I spend a lot of money for the content team, but the girls get better, you know, quality content, and in turn, the content is, you know, happier because these girls are happy with everything that's being shot, and then boom, that money comes back to me. So you guys have to start looking at it from a value standpoint. I could just say, you know what, screw you guys, do this, I'm not gonna provide anything for you, but it doesn't necessarily work that way. If you want to make money, you have to provide more value. You want to make a ton of money, you have to provide so much value that people can't deny that you're great in whatever it is that you're doing. You know, people can say whatever the hell they want about me, but the one thing they can't say is I don't know what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to making money, especially in e-commerce. They can say I'm a douchebag, they can say, you know, I drive supercars and I'm a dick and all this. Like, I know I'm a dickhead sometimes, all right? I know that. But it's not, you know, maliciously. It's like, yo, like sometimes if you messing up, I'm gonna tell you about it. But they can't say they don't know what the hell I'm doing when it comes to making some money. Okay, you have to be so good with the value that you provide. You have to provide so much of it that no one can ever deny you. And nobody can deny that when it comes to the Amazon space, you know, making money online, whether it's, you know, with eBay or Shopify or whatever, I'm king shit around here. Like, I know what I'm doing, okay? People say, oh, you don't know how to make money in all these different spaces. Nah, that's baloney because I have multiple businesses and I make money with those businesses. If you look at a lot of people in the e-commerce space, what are they doing? They're sticking to e-commerce because they don't know shit about anything else. Like they're good with one thing, they're one-trick ponies. That's it, that's all they know. They don't know anything else. Case in point, I provide so much value that even when I go out, you know, like I meet up at car meets. If you guys see some of the, you know, the footage on my social media, shameless plug below, make sure you guys like this video, by the way. If you guys check me out on social media, on Instagram, I'll have 20, 30, 40 people surrounding me, asking me questions about how to make money. Okay, just right off the rip. You know, I called for a car meet within a matter of hours and I had hundreds of people show up. Hundreds of people came out just based on word alone. I was able to get that spread around the city. Have that shit happen with, you know, one of these other e-commerce guys where they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna provide, you know, this, we're gonna go out to a car meet. Man, nobody gives a f about them because nobody knows them. The only people that really care about that are people who aren't looking for more value. You know, they're just looking for something very specific. Provide more value, you become more valuable to your community, number one, and to the people that support you. All right, and then you'll be able to make more money because that's what it's all about. More value, make more money, simple. If you guys have any questions about it, check out the links below, right there. You can hit me up on social media, we'll talk about it. All right, let's go. So be safe, be smart. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Later.